I'm Courtney Krafts. I've been in music in Des Moines for the last 7 years. Starting off especially was just kind of being as bold and fearless as possible from a person that was not that way. So I think the challenging aspect of having to be a little more outward than my typical inward was addictive, to say the least.
Are y'all ready? A flood of thoughts gave away, but my mind will say, baby, oh baby, what for? Oh baby, what for? Baby, oh baby, what for?
It wasn't as much being asked to play music back then. That was very much a finding opportunity and trying to not convince, but maybe sway people that, hey, live music is wonderful, and the more we get it places, the more art is existing in our city, in every little crevice and corner of any bar or winery that we can put it in. So it's very romantic, emotional music, which creates a little bit of a vulnerable stage to sing on at times, which is just uncomfortable, but at the same time too, kind of allowing other people to be vulnerable with you. And a lot of it comes from childhood and trying to understand my parents' relationship. A lot of that, I wonder if it's just how male and female brains work differently. Like, we are creative minds that are on extreme ends of the same thing, but don't necessarily function the same way. What we're trying to build here in Des Moines, and I see it happening all over even the country, which is putting more women on bills and lineups. 80-35 last year did a really great thing by making that a goal that we're going to have, more females. As much as I think that's great and contributed to a new communication of growth for what we're trying to do, I don't necessarily think that it has to be this idea of let's make sure we put women on there, when it should just be a natural reaction of, cool, like, what is our balance with this bill? What do we have going on?
What I think is interesting, and this is more from a musical standpoint, is I think a lot of people automatically assume that it's the men in the band that are doing things. And I can speak for Courtney in that, she's writing all the songs. I'm not a co-writer with her. She's saying, here's my song, and I'm contributing to it. But, she's got the final say. She's, the songwriter. In the studio, she's calling shots and saying, this is what I'm going for this song. But I think there's this idea, and I get this from talking to other musicians, it's the guys in the band that are making decisions, and the woman is just the pretty face for the promotion, and that's not true. The inequality that exists, I think it's an old idea, and I think, if we're gonna fix it, one, we need to talk about it and address it. And, whether that's me as a teacher being supportive of both my male and female students, or whether it's just, doing something like this and speaking out and letting people know, like, hey, this is a problem and we should address it.
There is a breeze sings through the leaves of the trees at my window. Oh, babe, I don't know. Guess it's how the wind blows these days.
Really come in and be allies for the women here and really support, because that's really how it's going to affect us the most, and how we can all start working together and creating more of that scene that it's equalized between all genders and all messages and styles of music that we're creating. This pedestal that women have been put on to not ever fall down is not nearly enough room to even take a step one way or the other. So I'd like to see that pedestal turn into a stage, and we can all just jump up on it.
So